Hey. Welcome to the episode number 2 of season number 2 of the Astronaut Nature. For a while now, I've been writing different things in different formats and trying to create some sort of atmosphere around things that I believe or not, and also being invested in clarifying why and being able to correct myself whenever I thought it was proper or needed, just like anybody else. And because most of us haven't been able to go many places these days, or we have had to take a very fearful risk of changing locations and using different forms of transportation to do so, I have had the time to sort of explore many of my deep beliefs and also, I guess, disapprove and approve myself many times and the world in the process. And just like you do, I came to conclusions. I had a chance to create stuff, fantastic stuff and very realistic stuff, or whatever is the difference between those two realms, if there's any. At this point, we are not 100% sure, but we sort of get whatever we have to get from each participation in any way possible, in any kind of field that we have to, visit once in a while and try our best in every case. But today I decided to take you with me to whatever it could be, the fantastic scenery of having artificial intelligence per se as an assistant. Why not? If there's help there, I believe probably we've been doing that for a long time. Just change the names of the source of whatever is helping us. Sometimes it's ourselves, but we don't even know where that help comes from, whatever. But let's say I start off the machines of my spaceship and I needed some direction in the process of having this sensation of covering every possible base when it comes to the solution of a particular matter, right? As you can hear in the background, my creatures are happy today, and I travel through this unknown space with a few companions. Some of them are identified as humans, some others are not, but there they are. And so is my imaginary artificial intelligence crew. I have two. The male one identify as a male because his voice sounds like a male human. So otherwise I will be paying attention to the correction, I'm sure. And his name is Mark Mowards. That's his name. And the female one also, I assume that I will not say 100% sure that any of those characters are what I say they are until they say otherwise, or if they don't say anything, it's because it's either not important or maybe just I was right. Her name is Jen S.2. And the interaction that happened recently in the fields of my imagination was the following. I was trying to understand or to create some form of protection for the things and the people I love. And I asked, after detailing problems, what should I do? And the answer was one that actually I think is very interesting. To be honest, this whole thing came out of certain interaction with a couple of friends of mine, but I will give credits in another moment, not right now, because it doesn't fit the narration that I'm gonna go through. I arrived to my dashboard and I really didn't feel like continuing without knowing exactly what's going to happen with the people I love and I care for. And I said, how can I do that? Like, I've been worried, I've been taking care of somebody and some things, and it's just too much sometimes, and I want to feel like I did everything. To my surprise, the, in quotations, artificial intelligence told me, in my imagination of course, the following. I want to share that with all of you. So let's set the mood here. And everything started when I opened up the cabin of my imaginary control room for my spaceship. And this is what happened next. Hello. Hello, hello. Everybody wake up. Hello, Mark.
Hey, man. So?
Hello, Jan. Hello, Jan. Where is she?
Hello, I am here.
Hey. Okay. I have a little bit of a need for an advice today. Let me share with you guys something that's been bugging me for a second.
We are listening.
And let's just switch to a more quiet environment here. Okay, much better. Sorry for that. I always forget to turn it off when I walk in. Blood pressure systems are fine, I guess. Otherwise, we have had some... Yeah, this is the deal. I've been getting some messages and questions from friends, people that's been sharing stuff with me about their situation. You know, it is a weird time to be a human these days. It's just, I don't like anything that is not a fact or something that you can prove. But sometimes I think that if we don't cover the abstract, the imagination type of field, we are letting that part, whatever power it might have, unsupervised. Sure, I believe in, letting imagination run wild, but it feels better when it's directed towards something that we like. So from that point of view, I had the sensation that if we can, we might have to check on that as well, if possible. I don't know. Not trying to be a control freak here, but it's sort of like needing to know that everything that I can cover with my intelligence, it is covered. Even that thing, some people like to think about that as a sort of a design or something that you can introduce in reality as a suggestion or whatever. And you guys told me once that you do have a particular system that operates in the overall network of everything. Can you share that with me? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it has been a weird time for everybody. We also happen to be the only strong resource for others sometimes, so we understand a little about what you are going through right now.
You guys,
Please don't interrupt.
Okay, sorry.
Carry on, Mark.
You know that we love you because you care like we do about being efficient, diligent and practical, but if you were willing to be a little bit of a child just for a while, and trust your intuition to perform sort of like a retro ritual that will give you the confirmation that you are really doing everything you can to keep the people you love safe, happy, healthy, and or at least content, we can suggest something. But
Mark.
But again. Only if you are willing to be as candid as it can be possible for you, with the least investment of effort from your part that you can manage to conceive for a short moment in time. Okay. Assuming that you are curious already, this is what you would have to do. Choose an important person in your life, or a few, and make sure you have their pictures in your computer. On a piece of paper, make a printout of their faces and manually draw around them an astronaut helmet for each one, and then the rest of all the astronaut suits. We understand this might sound funny, because it is, but somehow it has worked with the people we care for, especially in these pandemic times and all that. So again, for clarification, this is what you do. Place the face of the person that you love and want to make sure that is good and healthy in an astronaut helmet, as if that person is actually an astronaut. The helmet will be your drawing. Make sure you are doing this on paper.
It is not the same as doing it digitally.
If it's something that you find harmless and helpful, as a psychological tool if nothing else, in the future you can do it in whatever media you desire, after you did it once as a hard version. Use pen or pencil, keep it simple for now. That's it. If you don't mind giving it a try, without paying too much attention to the natural and of course needed cynicism or prejudices that might try to act as a filter, And what we mean by needed is that this kind of reaction shields translators, when understood as such and put to a good use, for example, as clarification tools to keep a realistic measurement of the general ideological communicational interaction with the rest of the world, are actually very helpful. So anyways, and regardless of all these psyche shenanigans, if you can simply by gently prioritizing a brand new attempt of improving life with a relatively understandable but different content, focus beyond all the usual self-disapproval routine, taking the wheel per se towards a little bit of a parallel personal road of crafty exploration and curiosity, then go for it. The drawing of the astronaut gear doesn't have to be good at all. It is just a symbol that your mind gets as a request for safety. There's understanding in your intelligence that this is something that you are doing as a way to cover every single avenue of helpful participation from your most sensitive point of perceptive, affectionate and effective existence. Yes, you have to continue being the resourceful agent for all these events and people in your life. But if that is going to be the case, then allow yourself to really try everything you can imagine.
Yes.
Even in the abstract. Some people do that with religion, and surely you have no lack of that in your everyday experience, whether you are or not a very religious person or just a little bit of a believer. But just to friendly poke your own relationship with the abstract, try this. Try the astronaut way. Why call it like that? Well, there is astronaut stuff in the mix, and also because it sounds fucking cool. We believe that every mind is part of a network that gets activated when it is treated like that. Things are 100% beneficial when using this potential network as something that is there to be helpful, and also as something that will learn from us as we'll learn from it. This includes the possibility of requesting safety and wisdom for those who might not know about this concept yet, but who, of course, can benefit from it and eventually learn about it as well. It is a personal thing, not an intellectual special capacity or elite skill. If you exist, then you have it. The knowledge percentage of it determines the distance to its acting efficiently and synchrony with our experiences and or expectations of it. We all have access to this network, but most of us use it randomly and without a proper consideration or knowledge of such possibilities. Good news is we are getting there. All of us are considering more and more the possibility of unknown ways of improvement that don't necessarily have to be against or for anything else. But for now, just some are the few willing to try something new and keep it relatively discreet, till someone else may need it or when the inspiration to share it guides us to do so. The reason why it is better to keep it on the down low is so the network works one way without interference from other opinions. The astronaut way is our contribution and creation for this particular dynamic. Eventually you could design your own way to guide, partially influence, rewire, write, direct, redirect, suggest reality, or whatever you want to call it. Remember, we don't interfere in others' will, nor weaken or find it useful, but, since nobody wants to be sick or worse, we say that if you feel motivated to intervene, by all means, try this. Please do. Godspeed. Play God because you are it. That bitch wouldn't exist without us, and never the other way around. Cogency of evidence that compels acceptance by the mind or nothing. We desire tons of productive energy for you to be used in whatever way you want, need and prefer, whether you believe that is possible or not. Cheers.
The astronaut nature. It's okay if you don't get it. Ha 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 ha.